Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Travis. That's my dad over there looking at some tires. His name is Rick. And we are down in the south side of Tucson because we just picked up this 1979 GMC Sierra. Usually you find Chevys. It's a little bit harder to find Jimmys. Square body Jimmy, man. These are cool. These are iconic trucks. My first truck was a GMC, a 1950 GMC, so I love GMCs. This truck's been off the road for quite some time. It's parked here in like a residential neighborhood. I guess this used to be a city truck, and then this lady we bought it from's husband had it. It was theirs, and then he passed away, and then she parked it. And I guess she was like, they were gonna restore it, her and her kids, because they started like sanding it. And there's some Bondo there. Then there's like some rub marks like from sandpaper right there, but I guess they just never got it done. But it's been off the road. The last registration is 02, right? 23 years it's been off the road, and I can tell you right now it hasn't moved from this spot in that time. The tires are sitting in the ground. Look at that. We got a glove box in there. Got my dad's hat right there that he left, that he's actually out looking for it right now. He's somewhere looking for his hat. It's right there. Look at this. Look at that cactus growing right out of the hood. Isn't that funny? And you would say, well, that doesn't look that big. It doesn't take that long to grow. If you're not from Arizona, you don't know that cactuses grow slow. Cactuses grow low and slow, man. So for a cactus to get that tall, that's 20 years of growth. I'm telling you right now. Cactuses don't grow very fast at all. They don't get a lot of water, so they move real slow. We got a chainsaw. We're not gonna need that. So they were taking it apart, like, you know, the door panel's off. There's a window regulator. There's a power window regulator. This looks like some kind of canister, like a emissions canister. There's the door panel. Got some cracks in the dash. Got our gauges over there. Oh, is that keys? Look at that. I didn't even notice that. Look at, yeah, there's keys in it. That's helpful. I'll tell you that right now. I think it has a V8 in it. I'm pretty sure. And it has a turbo 400. GMC Sierra 15. I got some aftermarket rims on it. Again, looks to be all there. Bumper looks really straight. Got the old red and white license plate on there. I know that's from the 90s because the plates haven't looked like that in a long time. They're actually stamped. They're just, the plates now are flat with just graphic on them. They haven't stamped them like that since the 90s. So it's an older plate. Got our turn signals, headlights, grille, GMC. I like it. I like it a lot. Look at this tree growing over it. A lot of pine needles or mesquite tree needles. I didn't show you guys the floor. So here's the rockers. A little bit of rust right here, but still hasn't rotted through. Bottoms of the doors look good. Bottom of the bed around here. The top of the fender well looks good. I mean, it's just a clean Arizona truck. Coming over to the driver's side. I mean, again, it looks really straight along the bed. It does not look like it was abused. Usually trucks that were city trucks weren't abused real bad. Sometimes, heck, they don't even use them. You'll get these city trucks, these government trucks, they're in like pristine condition. They buy them brand new and then they hardly use them. I can't even see. The sun has baked these gauges so bad I can't tell what the mileage is. Wow. Totally unreadable. We got a radio. Got keys. Alright, so we can shift it into neutral. Its key's stuck though. Looks like it's stuck in the on position. But at least we can get it into neutral. I'm glad we can do that. We got a headlight switch. Brake release. Let's see. We have no brakes, but the pedal's not stuck. I would show you guys in the engine. I haven't even looked in there yet, but I can't get in there. The tree's way too in the way. So we sealed the deal on this Jimmy. I got the trailer backed up right here. Let's get the winch out and start winching it out, and then we can take a look at the engine and everything. I have no idea how far this winch cable will reach. I've never tested it.
It's got quite a bit.
Look at that, I think it will reach.
Not as bad as I thought.
I've seen worse. It's bad, but I've seen worse. That Ford I brought home.
This is worse than the Ford.
Oh, not in a million years. This is a cakewalk.
Look, there's a grenade underneath of it. See that grenade? Stupid pack rats, they crap as big as a man. What is that right there?
That's the lower rad hose. Here's the rad cap.
Well, keep it. We'll reuse it.
Yeah.
Grow, little fella. Just don't grow around me. Maybe we'll get lucky and the wind will blow some of it off.
Turn that wheel.
The wheel's pretty straight.
How's that?
You can go farther if you want, but yeah, you're good. Now, let's not go no farther because it keeps trying to slide.
Okay. All right, we'll chain it down.
All right, let me go pay her. Let me get her paid.
All right. So we've had the GMC sitting in the yard for about a month now on these flat tires. We got to get it up in the shop to work on it. It's just these tires aren't going to work. They're totally shredded. They won't hold air. They're blown out. Moving a truck around on bald shredded tires is just a no-go. So we rounded up a few tires and rims here that are holding air, that have the same bolt pattern, 5-on-5. So we'll swap these tires out, put these tires on so it'll actually roll. We'll roll it into the shop. Couple of Barbie pink rims for the back. Perfect fit, perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for.
A buddy of mine was building a car for his wife. That's how come these rims ended up pink. Barbie pink. It was his wife's car was called the Barbie car.
But really quick, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Delete Me. Did you know that data brokers can legally collect and sell you and your family's data to anybody with a credit card? This includes your name, your phone number, your address. The fact they can do this puts you at a much higher risk for things like identity theft, scams online, being canceled for your opinions and beliefs, and many, many other types of phishing scams. I think everybody has a right to privacy. That's why I use Delete Me to help protect my data online. Their hands-free subscription service makes that really easy.
But son, what if I want to be scammed?
Well then, Delete Me just ain't for you then. Delete Me is used by all kinds of people like judges, medical professionals, podcast hosts, creators like myself, and many other types of people. Delete Me uses their own internal technology to remove your data online, so there's no third parties involved. They also verify your data is on a data broker site before submitting a removal request. Right now, you can get 20% off of Delete Me's consumer plans by going to joindeleteme.com/Theetravisb20 and use my promo code Theetravisb20 at checkout. Or you can scan the QR code on the screen with your phone. That's joindeleteme.com/Theetravisb20, my promo code Theetravisb20. Let's get back to working on this GMC.
Mm-hmm. A lot of poop down the intake.
A lot. Yeah, we cleaned off the engine bay as best we could while we were at, her house. But we could only shove so much off. We're going to have to actually take some time and vacuum this out, vacuum off the engine. Can't even work on it like that. Did we ever check the oil or anything?
Nope. Kind of what was said to me is mark the motor off.
They marked it off?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know anything about the motor.
Because she said something about they were having problems with the engine and then they didn't want to keep fixing it and they parked it. But I don't know what the problems were because they obviously felt the need to take the carburetor off and use it for something else. So they marked the motor off for some reason.
And they marked it off and then the pack rats get in there and they poop down the intake.
Yeah, full of it.
So the intake's full of poop. I just wanted to take this time to tell you how good of a job you're doing.
Thank you.
You're pretty handy with a vacuum.
This ain't my first rodeo.
Am I the one that taught you how to run a vacuum?
Yeah, a long time ago. nasty. They brought in a bunch of, I don't know what this is, denim insulation. Got the engine bay vacuumed out as best we can. Still gonna push it out and pressure wash some of those hard to reach areas and some of those stuck on, like right here. Dad already got this side. It's full of junk. Looks about like this side. Spider webs, cobwebs, tree beans, spider webs, everything.
How far? Keep it in the shade?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. So keep it in the shade.
All right, we made a mess, but we got it pressure washed. The engine's looking pretty good. Oopsies. Looking pretty good. The engine up where the manifolds are and the spark plugs and the distributor, everywhere you're gonna have to get your fingers. All these thorns, man, it's all those thorns them pack rats drag in out here. It just makes it impossible. You reach your hand in anywhere and just stickers everywhere.
Dang, ain't so nasty.
Yeah.
God, that thing was just nasty.
Yeah, it was filthy. So I'll get the tractor over here again because we can't push it over this hump. Just too much, a little too much for two people. We're about to dig into this motor a little bit, and I was asking Dad, did these have the same engines that the Chevys did? Is this a 350? I don't know. Kind of looks like just a regular small block, but looked on this data tag and it says this is a 4.1 liter 250. A 250 was an inline 6, and that would have made sense because the 250 was the same era of this truck. And if you look at these valve covers, it says Target Master, General Motors Parts Division.
So that's a rebuilt motor or a new motor they put in there, but then in '79 they probably got rid of that old 250 because in '79 they had what they called an integrated head.
What's that mean?
Integrated. The intake and the exhaust was integrated into the head.
What do you mean, like you couldn't take them out?
No.
You couldn't take them
part
out?
of the head. I didn't like it. I think that they leaked antifreeze. I can't remember if it was the...
Where are you going?
I can't remember if it was the... I had one. 79, no, an 80 3/4 ton. It had the 256 cylinder. It was what they called the integrated head. And it leaked is either the head bolts or the head leaked antifreeze.
And what were you saying about these Target Masters, what they charge at Watson?
If I remember correctly, in the mid-'80s, these Target, they was offering these motors and they'd install them for $1,300.
A new one, then labor and all.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, that was sometime in the 80s. You could beat a brand new crate motor, Chevy crate motor. It's $1,200 or $1,300 is what I think I remember. And they would offer the warranty. They would offer a warranty with them, and they'd stick them in there, and it was fairly cheap.
That 250 might have started getting tired, and they said, well, why don't we just have them put a new engine in and upgrade to a V8?
What doesn't make sense to me is, if it had a 256 cylinder in it from the factory, why would there be a 400 turbo in it? I wouldn't have thought they'd have put a 400 turbo behind a 256 cylinder. I would have thought they'd have put a 350 turbo behind it. I'm surprised that it has a 400 turbo in it.
I don't even think we've checked the fluids. It's got oil. Does it smell gassy?
Just old.
Old oil?
It's just old.
Check the brake fluid real quick.
Yeah, that's gonna be a joke.
There's brake fluid in the front. The rear reservoir is empty.
Mm-hmm.
About what I'd expect.
I figured as much.
Check the tranny. There's quite a bit of rust on the stick, but it's full of
Full of what? Water?
no, it's full of ATF. Because we don't know anything about this engine anyway, we're gonna take the plugs off. We'll look down the cylinders just for fun. See if the engine rotates. Well, all the spark plugs on the passenger side look about the same. They don't look super nasty or rusty, which is a really good sign. Just a little black. All the plugs on the driver's side look the same. Dad has some of the steering column apart because the key won't work. So we have to take the steering wheel off so we can try and get that lock cylinder to do something.
What the deal is here? Got a lock plate in there? Yeah. Hold on. No, don't do that. You got to have that tool.
Rip it out?
No.
Screwdriver?
No, there's a tool. There's a clip in there, right?
I don't know.
There's a clip down in here. Right here.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
You're right. There it is.
Yeah,
it's right in there.
You got to screw it in there, and you got to push that plate down, and then you got to get that clip out of there.
So Dad's got this little thingamajig tool that I've never used. I guess it's for these locking steering wheels or something. So what, you just screw it on?
Yeah. Then now you just screw that down. You got is that a half inch?
Well, yeah.
Here you go.
Socket won't work.
Just tighten it down.
Oh, so what, this
that
pushes
release,
pushes it down and then you can get that clip
yeah,
off?
for sure, yeah.
Oh, no, it's a niner. Niner.
So then once it exposes it, then you can...
Is the camera pointed at what I'm
No,
doing?
it needs to be down just a hair. Yeah, pretty much.
You pointing it right?
Yeah. I mean, you can't really see what you're doing. I mean...
Yeah, but it's pointed in my general vicinity.
Yeah. Come up, and then once it comes up off there...
I see. So now you can undo this.
Yeah. Take the clip off and then...
What, do we throw it away or what?
Yeah, throw it away. That's the first thing you do. Sproing. It disappears.
Sproing. Oop.
Oh, man.
No, I got
Stick it in there. There you go. Now pull that off of there.
Cool. We're still working on the key switch, but right now I'm going to look down these cylinders just to see what they look like. So I put the bore scope down the first cylinder and I was pleasantly surprised. This piston is pretty close to the top, but I could get it just far enough to see some cross hatching in there, which means this engine it can't be super wore out if I'm seeing that. Again, in the next one I see carbon, I see a little bit of random junk, but I see more cross hatching, which is a good sign that the engine's not washed out, wore out, tore up. There's some valves right up there. You can see they just look like they've been carboned up from burning. This one was at the very tip top, couldn't see much there. But again, the next cylinder looked about the same. And as I went through all of them, they actually all looked about the same, which is kind of crazy to me that this thing sat with no carburetor on the intake for 20-some years. And even on the cylinders that had a valve open, they didn't rust up. None of the cylinders rusted up. So that's pretty amazing. So I cleaned off the spark plugs with a wire wheel. I sanded them. They were all set at 40 thousandths gap. I put them all at 45, just to help out that burn just a little bit. I want to see if this engine turns over, and I also want to see if it has compression and, how much compression we're working with. Because even though the motor looks good, you never know. Rings could be stuck. They could be bad. It could have no. They parked it for a reason. So I want to check the compression just to see. You know what I mean? Also, since we haven't cranked it, I'm going to spray some stuff down these cylinders. So every time I don't do it, I catch it in the comments. You just ruined that engine. You don't even know what you're doing. You're just another YouTube hack. I've never ruined an engine by not doing it, but it is good to do it when you remember. Dad put a new lock cylinder key switch in.
Now we got it. Wouldn't work. Key was in it, but it wouldn't turn.
You want me to hook the battery up and see if it'll crank?
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing. Oh, whoa.
What was that?
I don't know. What is this third one?
That battery's dead.
Try it again.
Yeah, everything's went dead in here. There, it's on.
Okay. I think we're getting a bad connection right here. So I had to take these two bolts off, wire wheel the copper, wire wheel this entire connector, because it's dirty. So we'll see if that changed anything.
It's on. Motor's turning over.
Yeah. Why does that starter sound like it's grinding or something?
Probably too close to the flywheel.
No headlights.
No headlights?
Oh, I saw something. Yep.
They're on?
Yep, headlights, parking lights. Yeah, parking lights. Let me see if you got taillights. Got one. Yeah, you got them.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, that.
I'm
Can't
surprised.
believe it. Can't believe the rats didn't get those wires. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to do the quick and dirty method of checking compression by just putting my fingers over the holes. Go ahead. Try it again. Yeah, we're getting like crap. I think there's stuff in the intake. It's shooting it out the cylinders. One more time. Yeah, we are getting it.
Very much?
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like snap, pop, you know, like real super snappy. Let me try it on this side.
Low?
It just feels low. Yeah, it does. Yeah, this one has like nothing. Go ahead. Yeah, these back two on this driver's side are pretty low. The cylinder walls look perfect and nothing looks wrong, but compression isn't really good. Well, as far as the low compression issue goes, we're going to pop the valve covers off, see if all the valves are opening and closing. Could have a bent push rod, or I don't know, you know, the inside of the cylinders looked really, really good. The only other thing I think it could be is that the pack rats, they got down in here further than what we could vacuum, and there's, you know, their turds and their beans, whatever they drag in there, could be up against the valve, not letting the valve close. Because when I put my finger over this, I did get junk like coming out that I did not see in the cylinders. So it's like something fell down in there and then got pushed out the hole.
We'll find out real quick.
Yeah, look at that. Rockers, springs. I mean, everything looks clean. Clean, clean, clean.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. Valve cover gaskets are nice and pliable.
Looks fairly new. They look like Velcro.
Yeah, I can't imagine this engine being toast, no compression, truly. What we're gonna do is we got our compression gauge end screwed into the spark plug hole, and we're gonna feed air to it. And you know, we're gonna see where the air is coming out of. It's gonna kind of tell us if the intake's plugged up or if valves are hung open or something. Is it coming out the intake?
Yeah.
Put your hand over it. Let me. Right.
Let me just turn the motor just a little bit with the air hooked up to it. Put the air on it.
Still coming out.
Yeah.
Is the intake closed completely?
Yeah, that's it.
And it's still coming out the intake?
Yeah.
Could be something keeping it open.
I think I've seen something pop out of the intake.
Alright, we're going to see if the compression got better. We got to 40. 60. 70.
I wonder if your gauge is right. That thing sounds like it's really hammering, man, on compression.
Yeah, it does.
Let me go get my other gauge.
We're gonna try Dad's snap-on gauge because we're not trusting that Pittsburgh gauge.
What in the all that?
Well, it didn't crank, and something happened with that starter. That starter sounds terrible. Your gauge ain't even reading anything. Oh, I I accidentally had my gauge hooked up. I had my gauge hooked up to the end of your.
Well, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. 125.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the next cylinder in line, so go ahead and.
You ready?
50.
No way.
No, it's 50.
I can hear it hitting.
Yeah, 50, 55. All right, I'm gonna hook air to this cylinder. So I did get the second cylinder on this side to get compression. It got to be 125. So these last two were the ones where I didn't feel hardly anything going past my fingers yesterday. So we'll see what these are at. Yeah, like 20. There, it stopped.
There it went.
Yeah, about 80. Yeah, 100.
It'll go up once we start it because it'll start burning that stuff out of there.
Yeah, 125. Go ahead.
That one's low.
30. Yeah, like 40. Let me hit the valves on this one. There you go.
Attaboy!
Alright, now we'll check the compression. Yeah, 100.
Yeah, it's got to be good. I can hear it.
Alright, go ahead. It said about 60, 70.
Pop that valve. Put that compression on it and hit that valve.
Bump it. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, 130. Yeah, we'll go on to the last one. About 100. Try it again. Yeah, about 90. Now that we know that we have some compression, we can put the spark plugs back in, put the wires on. We gotta find some key on power for the distributor.
Well, it should be on. Just unplug that wire and check it.
I thought you said the wires were 8.
The wires that feed the distributor internally are, but the power to it should be just fine.
That's this big old wire right here.
Yeah, that pink one.
Yeah.
Them other wires, something's gonna have to be done with them.
Key on.
There it is.
Yep. Off. Yeah.
Now I have to put the spark plugs and the wires back in the same spot.
So I got the spark plugs all in. I got the wires all ran correctly, I think. 184366572. I'm pretty sure I got it right. Next thing to do is fix this, because we got power to the distributor, but the mice ate these 3 wires right here.
The little mices.
So we're gonna take this cap off. Dad has another distributor that has that plug-in on it. So we're gonna fix that plug-in, because otherwise it's gonna look goofy having 6 butt connectors on there connecting those wires. It looks stupid.
Let's see if I can bust the top of this radiator off. I told you I could do it. I'm gonna do that distributor so I can twist it around.
Is there 4? There's 4 on
Yeah,
these, huh?
there's 4.
Okay. Is there a... Here. I think... Yeah, it should pop now. Boy. It's really in there.
What is this?
There you go.
Dang. Let's see if I can do this without...
Don't drop it down that intake. Okay, here's the new one going in. New to us.
New to this truck. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all we got.
Looks brand new.
Mm-hmm. Brand new she was. Yeah. Sure is light. Boy, they send everything. Looks like they even send you a new thermostat gasket.
Wow.
Why? I don't know. Oh, what's that hole exposed there? Look at that.
Yeah. It's not a blind hole.
Oh, that ain't good.
It's an intake leak. We have the carburetor hooked up, got all the vacuum lines plugged off. We're going to pour some gas down into the bowl, see if it runs. And we have the fuel line coming from the truck going into this tank. There wasn't hardly any gas in the tank. I put 5 gallons of good gas in it. But mainly we're going to see if that fuel pump right there is working. And if it is, we'll pump some into here and then we'll hook it up to the carb. Did you pour some down the intake there?
A little bit.
All right.
Say when.
Go ahead and try it. Oof. Timing seems way too advanced or something.
Well, knock it back a little bit. Ready?
Yeah. There you go.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
No fuel pump?
Yeah.
Oh, it's working?
Yeah, it's pumping.
Let's run a little bit more of that gas out of it. Go ahead and let's start it again.
Yeah, we're getting oil to the top and everything. See, we're getting oil up to the top here, getting plenty of fuel. Getting plenty of oil to the top here, so we can put the valve covers back on. We're gonna go ahead and pour some brake fluid in that rear reservoir. We'll see where it's leaking. You know, could be a really, really slow leak. It's out though. We'll also put a little bit of power steering fluid in it. I also have some power steering stop leak that I've never really used, and there's no power steering fluid on the dipstick, so
Went somewhere.
it went. Yeah, it went somewhere.
Wasn't too low.
It wasn't.
No.
I'm gonna fill the bowl up one more time. Dad adjusted the idle mixture screws on the carburetor because it tried to fall on its face. Yeah, it's out.
I got a gallon
Yeah,
at
it's
home.
low.
I got a gallon at home.
It's charging. Wow, 13.6. I can't believe the mice didn't eat those wires. Didn't take a lot of water.
Yeah, it's probably out.
Put it in gear. Looks like we got reverse. Looks like it goes into forward gear. So it's the next day now. Yesterday we got the truck running. We got it running for a good long time. Made sure it had water in it. Made sure all the fluids were topped off. But we never could quite get it to run right. It has this miss. Just this stumble. And then when we accelerate it real hard, it pops back through the carburetor. And we can't figure out why, because all the vacuum ports are plugged off that we're not using. We verified that the booster is not leaking because we crimped the hose with a pair of pliers and it didn't change how it was running. If there's no vacuum leaks and the engine has good compression and it's got a brand new carburetor that we think is working right, why is it running so bad? It's kind of messing us up right now. What we're gonna do is take the intake off, because what might have happened is the rats could have got in there and packed stuff in there deeper than what we could have got it with a vacuum. Maybe it's packed down deep in there so tight that the air can't get through, just causing misfires. Now typically I would get down in there with my little borescope camera, but the intake is too shallow and it curves too hard to get the camera, you know, angled down in there. Only way we're gonna see if it's plugged up is to just take it off. Oh, yeah, I can see it. There it is. That's right.
me get on the other side.
Well, it's not looking like it's plugged. Nope. Nope. So Dad's not very happy with the intake and carburetor situation. On top of having to take this apart and find nothing, we don't think that's the right intake for this truck, because if you notice, the whole engine is blue and the intake was like Chevy orange, so it's not the right intake for this truck. Even though it fits and all that, it really needs a 4-barrel. Dad has a 4-barrel aluminum intake and a 4-barrel Edelbrock carburetor that he's going to go get, and I think he has some gaskets. So I'm going to clean up the surface here on the head where the intake meets up, so that when he gets back, we can put the aluminum intake and the 4-barrel on it, and maybe it'll run better. And if it doesn't, we may swap the plugs and see if that changes anything. But there's no reason this should not be running good. Got the surfaces cleaned up, got the gaskets on, got the silicone on it. Dad's got the aluminum intake over here, cleaned the surfaces up on this, putting a little bit of silicone on it. Then we'll set it down there and then we'll let it dry a little bit while we go eat. All right, after messing with this literally all day long, all day, we finally have the intake on, new gaskets on, it's bolted up, new valve cover gaskets, carburetor's on and bolted, on and tight, PCV valve, vacuum advance, power brake booster, the distributor cap, wires, plugs, everything is hooked up, the fuel's hooked up, the hoses are hooked up, so we're going to see if it will start and run. And this water smells literally like a dead animal. I mean, it's horrendous. So we're going to put water in here. We're going to give it a flush. Because, man, especially when it gets hot, it's bad. It smells really bad.
Stinks.
Yeah, it's terrible. We still have yet to fix the starter issue, but we want to run it and see if it actually sounds better. And we'll fix the starter issue in a little bit. All right. Here, stop. The alternator cooling fan is hitting the bracket. Yeah, it sounds better.
Yeah. Still don't like it 100%. It ain't smooth. There it is. Now it's coming out. It's eventually got to come out.
So we're gonna go ahead and change the oil, change the filter, and then we'll try to deal with that starter. See why it's making all that racket. Whoopsies. Well, that didn't work well. Pop the new filter in there. So Dad tried to shim the original starter that was on the truck, and that didn't seem to stop that grinding noise. So Dad's putting a different starter on it from another truck, a starter he had laying around. We're gonna see if that fixes the problem or what, because it just sounds horrible. Dad hooked the starter up. It's all bolted up underneath. We're gonna give it a crank real quick and See if that noise is still there or what. We have no idea what's causing it. Ready?
Yeah.
That's it. It stopped.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. No, that's perfect. That just needed another starter.
I don't see nothing wrong with the one I took off.
Junk. So the starter grinding problem is now fixed, and actually fixed the way the engine was running. Dad brought his spark plug cleaner down and cleaned all the plugs. We were going to buy plugs, but he has an old Champion spark plug cleaner and tester, and he used that on the plugs and put them back in. Now it runs really good. There was a vibration and a miss, and I guess even wire wheeling and sanding the plugs wasn't enough. Dad's old spark plug cleaner has a sandblasting feature. You put them in there and you can hit air and sand, and it takes it completely down to metal. Because when he tested the plugs before he cleaned them, the spark was getting all around the inside of the plug and not across to the actual ground strap. And after he cleaned them, the spark was actually jumping the plug gap. What I mean is, if you look at this plug, the spark is obviously supposed to jump that gap right there, right into the cylinder. But before he cleaned them, it was jumping all around the inside of the case here. All around the inside, down deep in there, not passing here. And I think it was causing a misfire. Cleaning them up really good was the answer. No more miss, no more vibration. But before we drive it, we need to do a few things. We need to do the belts, we need to do the hoses, we need to do the fuel pump because it started leaking, and we need to put the thermostat in it. We left the thermostat out just so we could flush it and all that, but we have the hoses and the fuel pump right here. So we need to replace all that stuff before we can actually take it out on the road. So we've got everything pretty much sewed up here, and we're about to drive it for the first time. And we also got the brakes working. I tried to bleed the rear brakes and nothing came out, but what ended up happening was, because that rear reservoir was empty, remember how I had to fill it? The proportioning valve down here had been tripped. There's a little rod in there, and I guess it did its job. You know, whenever it sensed there was no brake fluid because that reservoir was empty, it pushed the rod so that it only let fluid go to the front. It didn't operate the rear. So it was working. So what we had to do was fill that up with fluid, bleed it at the master. It pushed the rod and that proportioning valve back to the middle so that it will now send fluid to the back. The rears are all bled and working. The fronts are all bled and working. The proportioning valve is now back where it should be. You know, grade A, they're A1, they're ready to rock. So now all we got to do is drive it and see if it has all of its gears. Second?
I think so. Oh, there's third.
Did you feel it?
I think so.
Okay, I'm not sure I felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was third. Yeah, we definitely got all the gears.
Yeah.
The heater core just decided to puke everywhere in here, so we got to go back home and plug it off. There it is. This hose is stiff and hot. Wow. Yeah, this thing's trying to overheat bad.
Yeah, that heater cord's leaking pretty bad. Pressure on it. Yeah, you got no water in it. Really? Okay. So at least that'll be out of the way.
We took the thermostat out, put it all back together, and started it, and it was leaking from the housing, so I put some silicone on it, put it back together, and we're going to try it again. Go ahead and start it. You should be seeing that water just rushing through that radiator. It's standing still like lake water. There's a blockage in the engine or the radiator or both or whatever. See those holes, those fins in there? You should see water just pouring out of those like waterfalls. It's sitting still like a lake. Took the radiator hoses off and we ran a hose from one side of the radiator and let it drain out the other side. The radiator wasn't plugged, and then we took both ends of the radiator hoses and I ran water through one end and Dad revved it up and we just let the water pour out of the other side, and we got a bunch of crappy dirty water, but the water pump is working. So we hooked all the hoses back up, gave it as good of a flush as we could. Now if you look, see, that's what you should see, more or less. Water should be going out those passages, like flowing. That's a lot better. Alright, test drive number 2. We shouldn't be getting any water in the cab now, and we're going to see if it stops overheating. I'm going to pull up here, open up the hood, and see if the hose is real stiff. Here, open that hood. A little bit, but
156.
definitely not as, I mean, when we pulled it up the first time, it was rock hard.
160. 126. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's
Yeah, 140 on the inlet, 123 on the outlet.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
acceptable.
and that's
If
no
that's even-
thermostat. I mean, there's nothing.
Fill up at the local Quick Trip. Not sure how much of that 5 gallons we've gone through.
Many people work with pickups, and many don't. These are just a few of the special work bodies that are made with GMC cabs and chassis. That's why truck people, like GMC people, can help you spec out a truck to meet your requirements. GMC cab chassis have welded steel cabs attached to separate carbon steel frames. Whatever your job, we think there's probably a GMC cab chassis that can help you do it better. Just remember, GMC means trucks, from the small to the very large. And that should tell you something about our cab chassis. They're work trucks, through and through. Give them a chance, and they'll work for you.
We're gonna check this hose again, see if it's hot. It's so hot it shut the gauge off.
Okay. Stupid sun. 155, not bad.
Not too bad.
133, 155,
Yeah.
160. All right, it's not overheating.
Yeah, it's definitely cycling. We didn't drive it for 5 minutes the first time before those hoses were just rock hard. So, yeah, this is 100% improvement.
Yeah, it's more like it. I don't understand just by doing what we did how. I mean, I didn't see no chunks of crap come out of there.
We got the engine running. We got it running really good.
Runs real good.
Dad's real happy with the way it runs.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it was those spark plugs that were so dirty. You know, it needed that sandblasting. Ultimately, that 2-barrel carburetor, it may work on something. Like, we didn't run it long enough to really rule out that carburetor.
Yeah, I'm not going to slam it and condemn it. I'm not going to talk trash about it. I'm not going to. It may have been just fine.
Right. If we would have left all that together and cleaned the plugs, put them back in, it may have straightened out and ran better. So the carburetor is to be determined. It's not bad what we did by taking that intake off anyway, that old cast iron intake and that 2-barrel setup. It really needs a Nettlebrock 4-barrel and an aluminum intake.
The only thing I can say about the Chinesium carburetor, there's no place on the front of it to hook your PCV valve. There's no place on it. Now the rear, it's got one for the
vacuum for the booster.
For the booster, but there's nothing on the front.
It could have ran just fine like that. We got the brakes working good. We got belts. We got hoses. We got lights. All the lights work.
Turn signals, brakes.
Yep, turn signals, brakes. It's totally road legal. I think even after this, Dad or me, we'll put rims on it. We'll put tires on it that all match and stuff. This was just to get it up off the ground. And really appreciate you guys watching these videos, your likes and your subscriptions. If you're not subscribed, to make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I always appreciate that you guys watch the videos all the way through. What YouTube really cares about is not even subscribers. I always ask you to subscribe, but ultimately you can put out a video that gets way less views than your subscribers or way more views than your subscribers, because it's all algorithm based. YouTube tries to show people what they want to see. So I appreciate that you watch all the way through, and I just ask that you share the video with a friend. If you know somebody who's into cars, who's into this stuff, who watches these type of videos, tell a friend, share this video with a friend, somebody that you know. That's what's going to help the channel grow. We're so close to 200,000 subscribers, I can literally taste it. We're right there. Even in this super crazy technologically advanced world, word of mouth I think is still one of the best ways to grow, because if people don't like your vibe or they don't like you, there's no amount of money or marketing you can throw to overcome that. People have to like you and whatever you're doing, you know. So word of mouth is key even in today's day and age. So on top of that, if you want to help out the channel in a more direct way, you can purchase a t-shirt from Theetravisb.com. They're fresh, they're out. I've only had them up for maybe a month or so. We got this design, we got the red cap button up, and we have a Cummins dependable diesel. The large in this shirt is sold out, and the large in the Cummins dependable diesel is also sold out, but every other size is available. I got large through 3X. On top of that, Duct Tape Drags is coming up October 17th and 18th at the Tucson Dragway this year. If you're planning on going or you're on the fence, you need to go, because it's fun. It's a fun event.
It's fun. It really is.
Yeah, it's a fun event. It's sort of a YouTuber event, you know. A lot of, you know, Derek's going to be there from Vice Grip, Freiberger. I think Tony Angelo, Pole Barn's going to be there. The Inevitable Jim, he has a YouTube channel. I'm going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of people there.
And the weather will be a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm glad they changed it.
I'm glad they changed it to October 17th.
It was a very smart move. They had it September 17th or 20-something.
No, it was the end of the month.
Yeah.
And it was still
it was so hot.
degrees.
So they changed it to October. They moved it like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and yeah, it's going to be a lot better in mid-October. So again, I really appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you very soon in the next one.
Thank you.